Good morning, Doctor. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Mr. Collins. I'm doing great, and thanks for having me on your show.
Thank you so much, because what you're doing is you're stepping into the future, because this is an unknown area where we presently stand. We've always heard of AIs, but it was always associated with movies. This is really going on.
Well, what I like to say, Mr. Collins, is that if AI were a human being in our country, it will be ready to collect Social Security and Medicare. It's actually 66 years old. Because the 1956 is when some of the best minds in the country met at Dartmouth and started wondering about what this field is going to look like. And so artificial intelligence was born kind of at that time. So I like to tell people, it looks like AI just came last week, but no, it's been around.
I had no clue. I honestly had no clue, because I did think that it was something that popped out of the 1990s as we were jumping into this digital age.
No, it's been there since, as a formal field of study, I would say from the mid-60s onwards. Yes, it's been there.
Yeah. So what are the challenges that AIs have had to face over the decades?
Oh, yeah. I think in the early years, AI was pretty much based on rule-based systems and so on. It had some idea. People who build AI systems, for example, for speech recognition, for understanding images and so on, understood the rules of the game. For example, in the early days, game playing was big. Can AI beat a chess player, right? Kasparov, you remember the late 90s. And so on, because there were rules and you could program them, and AI can look ahead, 30 moves and 40 moves, whereas humans probably, the best ones, look 6 or 8 moves. So there was focus on using domain knowledge, into computer programs. Now, what has happened since 2012 is we are able to process all the data we have using powerful computers. And so now we are able to make informed decisions from the data. So before, I call it the domain-driven. Now it's data-driven, and I think sometime soon we will put them both together to make AI in human do better things for us. So that's where it is right now. So the change is from being a rule-based system or a model-based system, now we are mostly driven by data, because there is data everywhere. Take, for example, medicine, right? We have electronic health records, we have diagnostic images like MRIs and CT, and X-rays. And then even conversations between doctors and patients, could be understood by natural language processing systems. And so the AI can continue to work with these things and look for any potential issues that can be brought to the attention of the attending physician. So those are all the good examples.
One of the things that's, I guess, because American businesses and stuff like that, major corporations such as iHeartRadio and Amazon and people like this have announced that AI services are what's helping them become stronger companies. But at the same time, a lot of people are losing their positions in their jobs. But they don't see that as being a threat. It just says, no, you can go do something else now, because we're going to let the AIs do what you were doing.
Yeah, but Mr. Collins, this has been going on since the Industrial Revolution, right? It's not just happening as AI. In the good old days, when machines came and people were losing jobs and so forth. But this happens all the time. When a new technology comes, some jobs may be lost. But I think we need to help people who are affected, retrain them, and then get them to do the new things. So, for example, let me give a simple example. In the late 70s, when I was a graduate student, I will actually go to a physical travel agency and buy my ticket. I don't know, you remember that?
Yes.
And now who goes there? We all do it using airline website. So what happened to all those jobs? Well, they probably temporarily were lost. But the people who were affected by it, somebody should help them to get better trained, better educated, and so on, and so they can look at other kinds of jobs. So this has been happening, I don't know, I would say 200 years, right? The churning of things as new technologies come. So so people tend to blame AI for everything. I say no, it's going to do good things. So let's put things in perspective. That's all I say.
Well, see, and that's why this book is so important. That we, because we all have these assumptions, and we all sit there and point fingers and stuff like that. But you really do lay it out inside this book, and it's called "Can We Trust AIs?" And I just love the way that you put it in such a simple format of better understanding. Now, one of the questions I wanted to bring up: self-driving vehicles and diminishing privacy. We've got a positive and we've got a negative, because I mean the positive is self-driving vehicles. The negative, where's my privacy?
Yes, I agree with you. Self-driving vehicles will, reduce traffic accidents, will reduce, deaths on our highways and so forth. It is good. I don't have a self-driving car, but I enjoy all the safety features that come in my car. The alerts, that say there's a car on your, left lane or right lane, so you can't change lanes and things like that, or it tells me if it thinks I'm going to hit the car in front of me and so on. Those are great features to have. Now, the privacy issue, I think we have to put that in perspective again. Let me give an example. When I go to my grocery store, they ask for my phone number.
Yep.
You know why? Then $2 of shaving cartridges, $1 of strawberries, and things like that. I know exactly what I'm giving up, what I am gaining, right? So, why should I give my phone number to a supermarket? Well, I understand that. So, likewise, we all have to make our individual, choices in terms of what we want to give up and what we are getting back. So, that is a delicate balance, and it depends on the individual. It depends on who you are dealing with and so forth. What I find is my generation is very, very careful about privacy. We don't give out anything. But in my, kids' generation, they just put everything up on the, Facebook and this and that, and they're a little bit more open. So privacy is an important concern, and all AI systems that we design should declare, how this was designed and so forth. It is very, very important. If you look at medicine and so on, when they do trials and things like that, they're extremely careful, right, in terms of how information is protected. I'm also a professor in biomedical engineering in School of Medicine, and we hear HIPAA all the time, how information should be protected. So maybe medicine can teach AI here in terms of, how AI systems should be designed, keeping in mind privacy. So I think that is possible, and we should do that.
One of the things that this generation is jumping into like big time is the metaverse and these little universes that people can escape the real world. Are AIs a part of this? And should we be focusing more on the AIs, incorporating our real worlds more than just jumping into a fake world such as metaverse?
Well, I think, the current generation likes to be involved in these kinds of, what TikTok and all that. So I don't have a Twitter account. I don't have a TikTok account. But, yes, metaverse is an interesting thing. But remember, those artificial worlds are sometimes useful for training physicians, for example. I mean, you may have seen the commercial on metaverse. They show somebody, trying to open a synthetic heart and so forth. So I think the idea of metaverse is an extension of what we call as digital twin. For example, if I want to, have a very complicated system, as I'm building it, I would like to have a real synthetic system so I can experiment with it, right? There is all cancer immunotherapies. Before you give medicine to the real person, you may like to have a synthetic system where you can put this medicine and see what the impact will be on the cancerous cell and so forth. So, one can think of, metaverse in multiple ways. It's basically creating a synthetic world where we can create what's happening in real world, and we can simulate it and understand. Have you seen the movie Apollo 13?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. When Tom Hanks says, Houston, I have a problem, and somebody in Houston was recreating the situation, and they were doing all these current calculations and so forth. They said, you can shut this down, shut that one on, you'll still be able to be, land and so on. Now, that is a system that simulates exactly, what probably is happening. So it's very useful, the idea of metaverse in different applications. Of course, people like to have fun, they want to go and dance in metaverse or talk to their friends and avatars. Yeah, kids like that stuff, but there are other applications we can think of. And it's not a totally alien concept. As I say, you can view it as an extension of a digital twin or what we saw in Apollo 13,
You make it sound so exciting. I mean, you have had. I mean, you're a student of this every single day, and it's just amazing how you just make it seem like, wow, grow with this because it's going to be with us forever.
Yes, I think AI is here to stay. I think humans are good at making technology work for them, mostly for good, but sometimes humans also exploit technologies to do bad stuff. So we have to be alert. We have to be careful. And if we find the technology is not working for us, we should go and improve it and fix it. So because what AI is now able to do is to analyze the troves of data that we have. And I like to point out at Johns Hopkins, we have a platform known as PMAP, Precision Medicine Analytic Platform, which can bring heterogeneous data, your electronic health records from labs and your diagnostic images and things. And so AI can look at them and kind of see what's going on an individual basis. You can have a privatized, personalized medicine, and that is possible. So AI can do those sorts of things because, humans, we can look at some data, but we cannot look at lots of data, and AI can look at tons of data.
That's right. That's so true. The name of the book, Can We Trust AIs? Listeners need to understand that when they purchase the book, there is a code that will get them 30% off, and that is HAI 30, HAI 30. Doctor, you got to come back to this show anytime in the future. I love where your heart is. I love how you are sharing with us the things that we fear it, but you're saying don't fear it. You just be present with it.
Yes, let's keep AI as our friend. But sometimes even friends misbehave, right?
You're so true. That's so true.
Yeah. So then what do? You tell the friend, no, you can't do that, right? So we can tell that to AI, and AI will listen.
I love it. Well, you be brilliant today, okay, sir?
Thank you so much, and have a great day. And again, thanks for having me on your show.